My name is Rod. I am in the Psy.D clinical psychology program at Meridian University. Um, I am currently a school therapist in Northern California, and I have worked in the field of mental health for almost 20 years.
And as someone with so much experience in the field, 3 years ago when you started the program, what compelled you to choose Meridian in your search?
For me, I was looking for a program that really could like accommodate my family life and my career. Um, when I did my master's program at another institution, they had a similar model to Meridian. So I knew that that was something that would be really effective for me moving forward. So basically being able to be at a school that had the flexibility, that would allow me to go part-time if needed. And Meridian fit the bill in both of those. And it was the tuition was significantly cheaper than a lot of the other Psy.D programs.
Yes, when it came down to the Psy.D versus the PhD, what pushed you in the Psy.D direction?
Yeah, I think for me it was more being able to do the clinical work, and that's more of my strength is working with clients individually. Um, I'm not totally opposed to doing like research or being, a professor, but yeah, I think for me it was more about being able to work clinically and as someone who would like to have my own private practice down the road, so that the program was more relevant in terms of that.
That sounds great. And I know you mentioned being a part-time student. So for those who are watching and may not know, that's one course per quarter. For you, did you start off with two? Did you start off part-time? And how has the pacing of it all worked out for you?
Yeah, I've been part time the entire way, and it's been great. It for me, it feels more manageable for me, and I know like my capacity in terms of what I can withstand and whatnot. And um, just with like I said, having a family, having working full time, and it's just I needed something that could really complement that. So that's been the journey so far.
And so far, what has your experience been like of other students and program faculty?
It's been great. I feel like there's like a really strong community out there, and for me, most of my conversations with students have been through the TCOP, the special interest groups. That has been really helpful, getting to know different students and being able to collaborate. Obviously, the class as well, and that's been really helpful. And then with the professors, they've been great. I mean, when you reach out to them, they're very responsive. They make time. You feel like you feel like your time is valued here at Meridian. So it's been great in terms of just the overall collaboration.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to hear that. And something that's huge at Meridian is the transformative learning process. What has that been like for you, and why was it important to you in a graduate program?
Yeah, for me, just because I wanted to become a better clinician and become a better, better, better in terms of serving my client base. And I feel like I've done a lot of work, personal work throughout my career, but I feel like it's a continuous process. It's a lifelong journey. So for me, the transformative learning is very essential in terms of continuing to work on myself. And because I know the more that I work on myself, the more that I have to offer to the clients that I serve.
Said, and to expand on that, maybe for someone who's watching this and isn't as familiar with what transformative learning means, in a nutshell, how would you describe it to them?
I would describe it as, uh, I would say like self work, um, a lot of self work, um, you know, doing, you doing a lot of like, I don't know, internal work on yourself, and through the program and through the assignments and through collaborations um, with your classmates, and I think a lot of times people feel like you have to go to therapy to do, internal work, but you can do a lot of internal work on your own. And I think Meridian is great at fostering that as well. And, a lot of the exercises are very creative in order to get us to be able to dig down deeper and understand why we exhibit some of the behaviors that we might exhibit, whether it's good or bad.
What is the online format like? Is it collaborative? Are you attending live sessions or are you able to watch them back on your own time? What works for you?
Yeah, it typically just depends what time the class is. Because, with my work schedule and my family schedule, it can be a little bit of a cluster. But I would say so far, it's probably leaned more on the side of me rewatching the videos. Just I have more flexibility with that. But when I've joined classes, it's been great. It's been very educational, very informative, and a lot of collaboration.
Time. And as someone who's been in the field before and after starting the program at Meridian, how do you feel that it's helped prepare you for the work that you are doing out there with your clients?
I think for me, it's just sharpened a lot of my tools. Like I think a lot of the skills that I had already, it helped sharpen and refine my skills. Also, I think in terms of like it's helped me in terms of my own like personal research in terms of like what different styles and what different approaches to take with my client base has been really effective in that. um, Also, I think it's helped a lot in terms of like my colleagues who I work with, in terms of like I feel like I always had a lot of experience, but being at Meridian, it's really allowed me to like apply it, bringing it completely out of me, making things more practical. So that's what I would say.
So the first is, what's your favorite thing about being a student at Meridian?
Favorite, there's a couple. For me, interacting with the professors, I think that it's such a valuable experience, because you don't always, I work with people that are very, 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 very knowledgeable of the field, but at that level, you don't always get to intermingle with, professors and clinicians at that level, So I would say that, and I would say also, um, just a lot of the reading materials that in a lot of the reading materials in the class, the book suggestions that the professors have made, for personal reads. Those are some of the things that stand out.
If I were on the fence and a prospective student sitting in front of you and asking, what do you think? What would you say to me about attending Meridian?
Yeah, I was just having this conversation with a colleague recently, who was exploring going back to school. And, I told them, this person is in the same position as me. Like they're not privileged enough to be able to like take 2 years off of work to go back to grad school. And, I let them know that like Meridian, I broke down the level of flexibility in terms of like the way the class is structured, the ability to go full time or part time. The cost is a lot cheaper than a lot of grad programs. And, I just let this person know that like it could be a really, no pressure, but it could be a really good fit, if you're looking to still be able to work and go to school at the same time. Meridian will accommodate that.